Hi, this is your online instructor for today, and I'm Aryan. And today I'm going to be teaching you about while and else loops and about lists and how we could use them. But before I start, I just need to remind you that I only post videos through Monday through Friday because on Saturday and Sunday I post videos about physics and astronomy because that's my passion. So we got our to-do list here. I got an Apple Collaboratory. Let me just set this to light mode. So in a while and else loop, we can manipulate values. And how do we do that? We could say a is equal to 3 while a is less than 2, print inside while body, because this will inform us that we're inside this while body and this while body is being run. Or we could say else, you could print inside else body. Now this will tell us how this is gonna run and how while else loop runs. So it's gonna say inside else body because it sees that this while condition is not met, so it will do the L condition. So let's just go here and we completed the while and else loop. Now this is our primary topic. This is a very important thing that we need to do. So before I teach you about lists, the basic syntax of lists is you write your identifier, and then you say it's equal to, and then you say square brackets, any number 1, hello, 3, because what this does is it is a collection of data types and any data types that you want it to be. So I got to program is, and to create a list is this way that I showed you, and we could do something called a nested list. A nested list is basically, let me just go here. You could say list 1 is equal to, and then we could say list 2 is equal to 1, 2, 1, 2, how do you do? I just made that up. So we could see this and we wouldn't get any output, but since this is a cell, you could either say shell or cell, and this is IPython, you could say list 1, and list 2, and it's gonna print list 1, and then what I did with list 2 is that it printed that for this second. So if I want to print both of these, I'm going to have to nest them. I'm going to say list 3 is equal to list 2, list 1, 5, 6 later. Okay, let's do this. Now we could just print list 3. Now once we do that, we first get our list 2 here, which is 1, 2, how do you do? Our list 1 here, 1, hello, 3, and 5, 6 later. And we could keep on nesting this, and this could help us if we're writing phrases. Now, how can you access elements? You could the basic syntax of a list is that it stores something. So let me just make it integer based list. So it's gonna start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna say print list. I can say anything such as list 1. Now see what will be printed here. 2. Because what happens with lists is that the first element is considered to be n minus 1. So if I would want to get the first element, it would be n, which is the first term, so 1. I want to get the first term, so that's going to be 1 minus 1, so I'm going to get 0. So if I want to get the fourth term, I would actually have to go to the element above that. And not get this value, I would actually have to print like this. And it's going to say that there's an error. Why? Because it's out of range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you're going to say how? Because let's just kind of get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is not good. So we have to write 4. But if we don't know the actual last element, what we could write is a negative slice, meaning by -1, meaning by 5. Because what happens is that because we might write long topics, so it gets the last element and names it -1, -2, -3, -4, and then 0. So if I write it like I want to get -3, the actual thing that's going to be printed is 3, because -1, -2, and -3, and the element here is going to be the number 3. This is called negative slicing. And what we could do more with this is that the concept explained here is that this could be thought of as this. So how about if I want to slice an actual array and actually want to print some things from it? I could say print, and now this is going to be a comment. I'm not going to actually write a comment. It's going to say I have to write colon 3. Now see what's going to happen here. It's going to start from the first element, and then it's going to hop 3 elements, and then it's going to print 4 right here. So this is going to be our something called how much far it's going to go. But if you want to say, I want to start it at 1, and this is our end element, which we don't want to include, we could write 5, because 5 is not going to be used. So if, let me start like this, it's going to say 2, 3, 4, 5, because what happens is that our first element is 1, but it skips that because we got a head start of 1 thing. But if we don't do that, we could say 2, 3, 4, 5. If we write 1, we could say 2, 3, 4, 5 again. Because if we don't write anything, it's taken to be 1. This might be a little confusing, but I'll explain in the future videos. So how can you change or add elements to a list? You could say list dot up. There's a lot of things here. Append, which is add something. Clear, which is actually clear the entire list and don't do anything. Extend and insert are something else, which we will go to. And remove and pop are also something else. So we will say append number 3. Now when we actually print list, it's going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. Why? Because this append function actually goes to the back. And if I want to pop something, you can say pop, and it's actually going to take the last element and take it out. But if I say remove, look what's going to happen here. There's going to be a syntax highlighting because it needs an element. So I could say 2, and it's actually going to take the second thing out. So if I write, let me just store this as 2, 3, let me store this as 3, then it's going to say an error because it's not actually looking at the names, it's actually looking at this number is inside. I could, let's go down here, I look at them, I could delete or remove. Delete is some function that we use, but it's not used that much. Basically, if you want to delete, you just have to write del list, and you could see here that you actually have to give the specific number. So I could say 2, and I could print list, and it says 1, 2, 4, 5. Why? It goes to this number and takes it out. Let me just do this again. So it's gonna say 1, 2, 4, 5. Why? Because you're missing a third element, which is actually the n-1. So it's the second element. And if you just want to clear, you could say list dot clear, and we have to write brackets. Let's just do this, and then we have to print list. Now you guys are gonna like this because it's actually gonna say this. Now you might think that in a list it might be a keyword. Well, yes, it is. I just used one capital letter, and that was the first one. The actual list is like this. So let's go here and complete lists. I told you about pop. There's a lot of elements. Index, which returns the first matched item. You could say copy into another list, and then you can extend, which actually gets all the elements to another extend. And then I could say, and it's actually what actually is going to happen is it gets list and it adds list on it again. So I could say list 1, and I could say list 1 is equal to 2, 2, 22, 22. And when I actually do this, I could say print list 1, and it's going to say 22, 22. But if I want to, if I extend it, then I have to say and it says an error because it says that list 1 is not defined. So I have to replace this, and it says again because list 1 is not defined, because extend is only used in a specific manner. So let's just go to extend. So you could see, okay, let's take this example. I'm just going to copy and paste for you guys. So you could see at the time I'm quoting it. So let's just get rid of these comments out first. Okay, so language is equal to French and English, and language 1 is equal to Spanish and Portuguese. So we have to say language, which is the first element, and then we extend it into the list that we want, and then we actually say language list is now French, English, Spanish, Portuguese.